In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man from Bethlehem in Judah went to live in the land of Moab with his wife and his 2 sons. This man's name was Elimelech, his wife's name was Naomi, and his 2 sons' names were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They went to the land of Moab and stayed there. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women. One was named Orpah and the other Ruth, and they lived there for about 10 years. The 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, also died, and the woman was left destitute, without her 2 sons and without her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law to return from the land of Moab, because in that land she had heard that the Lord had remembered his people by giving them bread. So she set out with her 2 daughters-in-law from the place where she had been. And as they were walking back to the land of Judah, Naomi said to her daughters-in-law, "Go now, and let each one return to her mother's house, and may the Lord be kind to you, as you have been to the deceased and to me. The Lord grant that each of you may find a peaceful life in the home of a new husband." And kissing them, they wept aloud. And they said to her, "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Return, my daughters. Why would you go with me? Do I still have sons in my womb, that they might become your husbands? Return, my daughters, go on, for I am too old to have a husband. And even if I said, I have hope, or even if tonight I had a husband and were to have sons, would you wait until they were grown? Would you remain unmarried for their sake? No, my daughters, for my bitterness is greater than yours, because the hand of the Lord has risen against me." Then again they wept aloud. Orpah, with a kiss, said goodbye to her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. Then Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law has returned to her people and to her gods. You go back with her too." But Ruth replied, "Do not insist that I leave you and turn away from you, for wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, there I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Wherever you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord punish me if anything but death separates me from you." When Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped insisting. So they both went on until they came to Bethlehem. And it happened that when they entered Bethlehem, the whole city was stirred because of them. And the women asked, "Is this not Naomi?" But she said to them, "Do not call me Naomi, but call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why do you still call me Naomi, when the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me?" So Naomi returned, and with her Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, who came from the land of Moab. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Naomi had a relative of her husband. He was a rich and influential man from the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, "Let me go to the field to glean heads of grain behind him in whose sight I may find favor." Naomi replied, "Go, my daughter." She went, came to the field, and gleaned behind the reapers. By chance she entered the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the family of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said to the reapers, "The Lord be with you." And they answered, "The Lord bless you." Then Boaz asked the servant in charge of the reapers, "Whose young woman is this?" The servant answered, "This is the Moabite girl who came with Naomi from the land of Moab. She asked me, 'Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves after the reapers.' So she came and has been here from morning until now. She only stopped for a little rest in the shelter." Then Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, do not go to glean in another field, nor leave here. Stay here with my female servants. Keep your eyes on the field where they are harvesting and follow them. Have I not commanded the young men not to touch you? When you are thirsty, go to the jars and drink the water the young men have drawn. Then she bowed down and, prostrating herself with her face to the ground, said to him, "Why have you been so kind to me as to take notice of me, since I am a foreigner?" Boaz answered, "I have been told all that you have done for your mother-in-law after your husband died. I know that you left your father, your mother, and the land of your birth and came to a people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you receive a great reward from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." To which she said, "My Lord, may I continue to be well accepted in your eyes, for you have comforted me and spoken to the heart of your servant, and I am not even like one of your servants." At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come here, eat some of the bread and dip your piece in the vinegar." She sat beside the reapers, and Boaz gave her roasted grain. She ate, was satisfied, and still had some left over. When she got up to go gleaning, Boaz gave this order to his servants: "Let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not reproach her. Also pull out some stalks from the bundles, and let them fall for her to glean, and do not rebuke her." And so Ruth gleaned in that field until evening. Then she threshed what she had gathered, and it was about 20 liters of barley. She took the barley, returned to the city, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. She also took out and gave to Naomi what was left over after she had eaten, and was satisfied. Then her mother-in-law asked her, "Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the one who took an interest in you." And Ruth told her mother-in-law where she had worked. And she said, "The name of the man with whom I work today is Boaz." Then Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "May he be blessed by the Lord, who has not ceased to be kind, neither to the living nor to the dead." And Naomi added, "This man is our relative, one of our redeemers." Then Ruth the Moabitess said, "He also told me, 'Stay with my servants until they have finished all my harvest.'" Naomi answered Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It will be good, my daughter, for you to go with his female servants, so that in another field they will not mistreat you." So she stayed with the female servants of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvests were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law. Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to Ruth, "My daughter, should I not seek a home for you so that you may be happy? Now, is not Boaz, with whose female servants you have been, one of our relatives? Behold, tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash yourself, put on perfume, wear your best clothes, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to him until he has finished eating and drinking. When he goes to lie down, notice the place where he lies. Then go, uncover his feet and lie down there, and he will tell you what you should do." Ruth answered, "All that you have said to me, I will do." So she went to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law had commanded her. Boaz ate and drank, and feeling cheerful, went to lie down at the end of a heap of grain. Then she came quietly, uncovered his feet and lay down. About midnight the man was startled, turned over, and behold, a woman was lying at his feet. He asked, "Who are you?" She answered, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread your cloak over your servant, for you are a redeemer." He said, "May the Lord bless you, my daughter. This last act of loyalty of yours is greater than the first, for you have not gone after one of the young men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, do not be afraid. Everything you have said, I will do, for all the people of the city know that you are a virtuous woman. It is true that I am a redeemer, but there is another who is a closer relative than I. Stay here tonight. Tomorrow, if he wants to redeem your rights, let him do so. But if he does not want to, I will do it. As surely as the Lord lives, lie here until morning." She lay at his feet until morning and got up before one person could recognize another, for he said, "Let no one know that a woman came to the threshing floor." And he said more, "Give me the cloak you are wearing and hold it." She held it, and he measured 6 measures of barley and put them on her. Then he went to the city. When Ruth returned to her mother-in-law, she asked her, "How did things go, my daughter?" She told her everything that man had done for her. And she added, "He gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, 'Do not return to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Then Naomi said, "Wait, my daughter, until you know how these things will turn out, for that man will not rest until he has settled this matter today." Boaz went up to the city gate and sat there. Behold, the relative of whom he had spoken was passing by. Boaz called him, "My friend, come here and sit down." He went and sat down. Then Boaz called 10 men from the elders of the city and said, "Sit here." And they sat down. Then Boaz said to the Redeemer that Naomi, who has returned from the land of Moab, is selling the piece of land that belonged to our brother Elimelech. I decided to inform you of this and say to you, buy it in the presence of those who are sitting here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you want to redeem it, redeem it. But if you do not want to, tell me, so that I may know. For there is no other redeemer but you, and I come after you. He answered, I will redeem it. But Boaz said, on the day you buy the land from the hand of Naomi, you must also acquire Ruth the Moabitess, who was the wife of the deceased, to continue the name of the deceased in his inheritance. Then the Redeemer said, in that case, I cannot redeem it, lest I harm my own inheritance. Redeem it yourself, for I cannot do it. Formerly in Israel, to confirm any business concerning redemption and exchange, a man would take off his sandal and give it to the other. This was the testimony in Israel. Therefore the Redeemer said to Boaz, buy it yourself. And he took off his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders and to all the people, today you are witnesses that I have bought from the hand of Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech, to Chilion, and to Mahlon. And I also take as my wife Ruth, the Moabitess, who was the wife of Mahlon, to continue the name of the deceased in his inheritance, so that his name may not be cut off from among his brothers, and from the gate of his city. Today you are witnesses of this. All the people who were at the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is entering your house like Rachel and like Leah, who both built the house of Israel. And may you, Boaz, be a mighty man in Ephrathah and have a famous name in Bethlehem. And may your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah, from the offspring that the Lord will give you by this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. He had relations with her, and the Lord granted that she became pregnant and had a son. Then the women said to Naomi, blessed be the Lord, who has not left you today without a redeemer. May his name be celebrated in Israel. He will be your comforter and will care for you in your old age. For he is the son of your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons. Naomi took the child, placed him on her lap, and began to care for him. The neighbor women gave him a name, saying, a son has been born to Naomi, and they called him Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. These are the generations of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse, and Jesse fathered David.